So, there's a lot of talk online about attachment styles, and specifically the anxious avoidant push-pull dynamic and fearful avoidance or disorganized attachment. And I think it's a little messed up, but I see why. This is something that doesn't get talked about. That the anxious partner is the one who is expected to do all of the work of repair, accountability, and is basically the one who's pathologized. Oh, you didn't communicate your boundaries. Oh, you don't have a strong sense of self. All these things. But who's doing the damage? The anxious partner isn't doing the damage. They're constantly trying to mitigate the damage. They're constantly trying to help and participate. And it's crazy to me. I've seen people. I know people in person who I've tried to talk about this with, who will pathologize me for being willing to, for example, help my partner. Like that's a bad thing. Like that's something to pathologize. That's insecure of me. When somebody who I am dating and deeply intimate with, and we share all of our, deepest hopes and dreams and desires, and they ask me for something and I give it to them. That's my problem. That was my fault I did that. Not their fault for manipulating me into giving it to them. My fault for giving it to them. You see? It's almost like our entire society is built around emotional avoidance. That's what I'm starting to think. The way that, for example, when you are truly disabled and you need government assistance, the way you're dismissed, the way that when you're disabled and you go out into society, you're dismissed, the way that when somebody is sick, they're dismissed, the way that when somebody is on the side of the road and they need help, they're dismissed, they're thrown aside, that's a problem with you. That's not my problem. That is avoidance. That is the avoidant personality. And avoidant attachment is just one fine fucking hair away from narcissism, in my opinion. These are all very unpopular opinions to have, but there's probably plenty of anxious attachment people who are trying to work on themselves. That's the thing. Anxious people work on themselves by nature, okay? Because they feel like they're the problem. They believe in their heart that they're the problem, and so they try to fix themselves. And eventually they will naturally tend towards being secure, because they'll go down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out what the fuck went wrong in all these situations and realize, I'm not that bad. I just didn't have a fucking sense of self, and like I really needed somebody to fucking care about me. Wow. And that's pathologized. That's treated like you're a fucking weird, crazy, stupid person for having emotional needs and being really hurt when they're not met, when you explicitly ask for them over and over again, and you get gaslit and strung along and all these things by an avoidant person. I don't think it is talked about enough the damage avoidant people do, because our society is built around emotional avoidance by its nature. We have an avoidant president, avoidant personality, like narcissist type president, who also is more like a dismissive avoidant, right? Who laughs at and insults the people who try to hold him accountable, right? That is standard avoidant behavior. And I think it's insane that we don't shame that. You know what? If you're internally shaming yourself for that, maybe you should stop fucking behaving that way. Have you considered having some fucking compassion for other people? Have you considered trying to walk a mile in their shoes instead of always making it about what you need? Maybe if somebody is desperately trying to be heard by you, you should fucking listen. Maybe when somebody is crafting their entire life around taking care of you, but then has their own needs, you should treat those needs as something important, because that person is giving a lot to you. And I don't care if you want to, how you want to twist that and call that codependent. You want to call that this, you want to call that that, because you want to pathologize it. Look, man, people get into relationships, and relationships often involve exchanges. And before the fucking 21st century, when we decided that having emotions was a bad thing, that wasn't pathologized. We weren't going, oh man, like, he goes and he works for money and she stays home and works the house. What an awful thing. They should both have jobs and both have houses and both have separate families. Like, now, I say that and there's like half the people are like, oh, you're a conservative Christian and you're traditional and I hate you, and they immediately click off the video. Well, fuck you then, because that's not me. If you know me in person, you know that every relationship I've been in, I have made an effort to build up the people that I'm with. Like, I want you, if you want to have a fucking epic career, then do you need my support? How can I help you? Okay, all you need is for me to make sure we have a place to live. Fuck yeah, here I am. I am useful in that way. I will be useful in that way. You don't have to stress about that. I will take all that stress on myself, and I'll be proud of it, because it'll be something that I can do that gives me a feeling of like contributing. That means something to me. It means something to me to pull my weight, okay? But the thing is about my many avoidant partners is that it doesn't mean anything to them to not pull their weight. They don't feel any guilt or remorse about that. They will, behind your back, pretend like they don't have money so that they can not help you with bills, so that they can then run away, instead of just admitting, hey man, this relationship isn't working, and I need to move out, but I don't have any money right now for that, so like I would like to break up with you or work it out with you, and we need to like figure out how to make that happen right now. And that is a way to do that without being cruel. The thing about the avoidant discard and making it so acceptable and normal is it's very cruel to the person on the other end. People somehow sympathize more with the avoidant who is discarding the person, throwing the person, like, this is a person, me, right? I'm a person who you were deeply intimate with yesterday, today, even an hour ago, and you're like literally just discarding me like I don't even exist, like I never mattered to you. That's how that's how you fucking treat people. That's how avoidants treat people. And that's really how our whole society does it. You could have a relationship with someone for 10 fucking years and ghost them, and that's like normal to do that. It's not even considered shitty. It's not even like, nobody's like criticizing it. Nobody is like, the friends of the avoidant are not like, dude, that's messed up. That was like a good dude. He treated you really well and he was really trying hard. You shouldn't have treated him that way. They will fucking congratulate her for moving on and for being so strong and independent. And man, he was such an awful man. Like, nah, man. Men get thrown away like this a lot. I know women do too. So I don't want to make this about gender. That's not really my thing in this context. There are gender things happening too, but that's not this. The thing about the avoidant discard and the whole avoidant thought process and glorifying that and pathologizing the anxious is you don't really talk about the real world cost of that discard for the anxious person. So the avoidant partner, right? We're going to talk about that first, since everybody else talks about that first and values that over everything else. They discard, and they'll go off by themselves, do their own thing, get regulated, go out, have a night on the town, find somebody else, and replace that person. And that's it. They're done. Problem solved. They can kick that emotional can down the road another 5, 10 years, whatever, year, 6 months, whatever it is. What happens to the anxious partner? Well, they spend, in my case, the last one was I was with them for 5 years, and they discarded me suddenly. I remember I was told that she had been, on the day we were supposed to pay bills, right? I was anticipating that because we were behind already on some stuff and we needed to talk about that. And I had some money to contribute and she had some money to contribute, and we were supposed to work together to pay the bills. We had some debt that I ended up having to take with me, even though we weren't married, because it was in my name. This is very common. And basically, she just, in the span of 15 minutes, I learned that she had been saving up for her own place. She was moving out today. Her friend was coming to get her. I'm sorry. That's it. That was the whole thing. And then she basically avoided me after that. I was bawling my eyes out, and she was barely even looking at me. She wouldn't even look at me. 5 fucking years. 5 years of my life with this person. Living together, sharing everything, our deepest fears and desires, having sex with each other, obviously, physically bonding, mentally bonding. She met my family. I started to meet her family. We were very, very, very close. I showed her my whole world. I had told her, I will happily go with you and explore your world. I don't maybe want to live there, but I will explore with you. And she's from the deep south, so it was like, I really don't want to live in the deep south. No thanks. It's just, I don't want to go backwards 50 years, I'm I guess I'm spoiled by, I'm used to living off grid in the West, but I'm spoiled by like modern social world where I have like the freedom to be wherever, whatever emotions and whatever gender stereotypes and sexuality and religion that I want. I think religious freedom is probably the main one, and like neurodivergent freedom. Those two things. I don't want to go 50 years backwards on those. So I was like, I don't want to live there, but I will go there with you. It's kind of scary to me, but I'll go there with you just to see your world. And I was always trying to get her to open up. I was always trying to learn about her world. And she never would. She would share her world at times, but she wasn't very willing. There was a lot of things that I should have realized, but okay. The thing is, that's analyzing her. After that breakup, she went to sex parties, told me about this, decided that it was a good idea to tell me about that. Went to sex parties. She, by the way, had told me, oh, I don't want to have sex. I just don't feel like being in a relationship. Like, it's not you. I don't want to be in a relationship and I don't feel like having sex. And I just want to like be by myself, right? And within 2 weeks, she was doing sex parties, and then she got with someone else. And what happened to me? Where did I go? Well, I spent, since February of last year, exhausted all the time, experiencing autoimmune symptoms, barely able to pay the bills, in debt up to my eyeballs. That was debt that we together had agreed we were going to pay off. Many times it was, I promise I'll help you with this. Yes, I'll help you. Absolutely, I'll help you, of course. In debt up to my eyeballs, struggling to make payments. Exhausted, anxious, broke, alone. I attempted some relationships, but they were all way more toxic than the last one because I was really just in pain, and the relationships, I fully admit, came from me being in pain and just wanting somebody to fucking treat me nice. Really, like, Straight up, I just wanted somebody to fucking give me a hug and treat me like a human being for a second and like treat me like I mattered. That's all I wanted. And I had to build my sense of self. I had to go through a lot of work, a lot of inner work. I left everything I knew behind. I lost all of my friends at this point. I lost every material thing that I had at the time. Um, Everything is gone. My pets are still stuck on the mainland. My two pets, who are both like 10 years old, are still stuck on the mainland right now because I can't afford to bring them here because every month I spend enough money on that debt to for their plane ticket, right? And I struggle. And I would say now, after all this time, after like a year, it's starting to kind of improve. My health is kind of starting to get better. I mean, to give you understanding, I've been pushing as hard as I can to just work to pay the bills, to have enough to pay the bills. I can't do anything but sleep. I'm just exhausted all the time. I mean, it feels like genuinely like I can't stay awake, you know? Like I'm so fucking tired all the time. And then like I'll get stuck up at night like thinking about all these mistakes I must have made and like trying to figure out where I went wrong, what all my failures were, not even in that relationship, just in life, because it just destabilized and destroyed. I basically experienced ego death from this because it was like we were bonded. We were married basically. We weren't actually married, but we were energetically, like physiologically and psychologically married. We were partners. We were partners for life. We had done everything for years. We planned our lives around each other. Well, I planned my life around her, really. And we loved each other, and then to be discarded, that's like incongruent. It's like, wait, what? Like, did I kill somebody? What happened? And I did make mistakes. But I look back at my mistakes and it's like every fucking thing I was doing was just trying to get her to say things like just get her to say she loved me, or to give me a fucking hug, or to just show she gave a fuck, you know? And she'd be like, "Oh, I say I love you all the time." And it's like she hardly ever did. It was like once in a while she would say it, just often enough she would give me a breadcrumb, but not consistently, not, once a day. Like, is that really so much to ask from someone that you basically spend all of your money on, that you support in her career, that you fix her car for her, teach her how to fix her car if she wants to learn, um, you know, teach her about plants, learn about plants with her, learn about the things she's interested in, watch her shows with her, accompany her in her interests, play her video game that she likes, get her playing your video game and hanging out with your friends because she doesn't have a lot of friends. Get her hooked up with your friends so that she can have friends and social life, and give her time to be with her few friends, and like even dumb shit I should not have done, like giving her time to talk to her fucking crush that she had before me, that she justified and didn't see it as a problem to like treat me like I meant less than this person that came before me that she wasn't even actively dating. That was like she couldn't just let go of that and be with me. I think the polyamory thing, it's hard because I could see it being something. I think I've experienced it where I feel deeply connected, but I think it's very rare. I think for the most part, why polyamory is so popular is because avoidance is so popular. People want to have a million surface level connections with a lot of dopamine and just a little dab of oxytocin. But they don't want to have any nervous system regulation from the other person. That's why they fragment it. That's why they stay so self-contained like that, because they can't co-regulate and they won't address it as if it were a problem. Yet being a human being, co-regulating is part of our nature. We existed in tribes before this. We existed as family units. We existed as units, groups of people together, who fucking groomed each other, fucking picked fleas out of our hair and ticks, you know? Like, that's what we used to fucking do. And so to paint this avoidant thing like it's natural, like it's more natural for you to want to sit on your phone under a blanket and hide from the world and not talk to your partner who's supporting you, um, instead of being there present with the person you're with through thick and thin and sticking with them and working through problems, acting like the latter is the pathological problem. It's insane. We really do live in clown world. Like, it's nuts. And now I'm dealing with shit's even worse. Now some of my closest friends are tied in with it. It's a betrayal that's happening, and that's even more messed up and harder to stomach. And yeah, the betrayal just freaking hurts. I mean, I basically have had to lose everybody that was close to me. I've had to move thousands of miles from home. I went through autoimmune issues that lasted this whole time, that were much worse, that flared this whole time. Like, this being discarded by the avoidant, it destroyed me emotionally, physically, mentally. It damaged my ability to trust other people because I don't know when the rug's going to get pulled. And then I've experienced another avoidant relationship like that, where they got really close to me and then they discarded me, even despite my communicating boundaries. And they said all the right things. They said, yes, I understand, and I am going to be that way. And I am 100% fully on board. And yes, and like, and they communicated their emotions and their needs, and we showed up for each other, and we really bonded, and then they discarded me. And it wasn't a breakup, it was a discard. It was, I actually, like, you're nothing to me, and you never were. Goodbye. Like, you rewrote the fucking story. Both of you rewrote the fucking story of the relationship to suit you, to make you sound and feel good. Okay? And that didn't just hurt me directly between you and me. It hurt my entire relationship with the community, because as you talk to people about it, you act like I was the problem the whole time. Like I was the one doing the fucking damage when I was giving endlessly to you and you were asking for it and manipulating me just right to give it to you. Don't fucking act like you're innocent in this, and don't paint me like I'm the bad guy, okay? Like you're the victim of my emotional needs. Like that's something to be victimized by. Like have another human being having needs is a fucking crime, is a pathology, because it's fucking not. Your lack of emotion is pathological, and it is damaging, and it is fucked up, and it's not right, and it does. Behavior has consequences, and those consequences are collateral fucking damage. All the people that you have gotten close to, drawn really close into you, and then fucking discarded and destroyed, given autoimmune conditions, wounds that won't heal. I have wounds on my feet, either of my feet right now, and I've been trying to get them to heal for like a month and a half, and they will not fucking heal. Okay? And I keep them clean, I keep them bandaged, they aren't infected, they just will not heal. They just don't close. Why is that? Because my immune system, my ability to heal is destroyed. Like, I'm exhausted all the time. All I can do is fucking sleep. I can't focus. I can't think. I can't get work done. I've been in poverty because I can't fucking get work done. And I was in that experience with this person, but I didn't realize how bad it was fucking me up to always be on high alert trying to handle whatever weird needs they had for me to be withdrawn from them when I had needs of closeness in that moment. Withdrawal is not a natural fucking thing. Withdrawal is something you do for a little period of time, but it's not something you're supposed to live. I'm now withdrawing. I'm becoming the fucking person I was with because I don't know what else to do to protect myself. I'm now having to build walls around myself and say, no more relationships, no more friendships, no more closeness, because everyone seems to be okay with betraying me. It's not just, oh, you were too much, you needed this and needed that. These are basic things. Be honest with me, be upfront with me, be real with me. Don't breadcrumb me, don't pretend, don't hide things from me, you know? And I'm seen as the problem in those situations. You didn't fucking communicate. I communicated very clearly, and you stayed silent. So now I'm alone. Like, as the anxious person, I'm completely alone. I'm now having to be walled off. And the avoidant people, in their little polyamorous, fun little groups, they do what they want. They have whatever fun they want. They have it on exactly their terms. And they get to just go about their little merry way. And nobody criticizes the behavior. Nobody says, hey man, like, you probably shouldn't like manipulate someone into loving you and then discard them as if they didn't matter, because that's going to hurt them really bad to the point where there are physiological consequences and it will fuck them up. Like that harm is real. It's not just a pathology, it's real. Like, I'm having to now learn a sense of self from that place, and I'm doing it. But I'm also having to kind of detach from the world, because every single time it seems like that I get close to people, they hurt me. I haven't had an experience of getting real close to somebody and not having them turn avoidant on me, do avoidant shit on me. It's something I'm like watching, I'm like hyper vigilant for it now, because it's like it hurts so fucking much. It destroyed my health. It made me poor. And I wasn't poor before this. I had a career, I had a good job. Um I was getting my shit together. I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful I made it to Hawaii. I'm grateful that I live where I live, and I see it in the long run working out for me. But I kind of had to live. I kind of have to live in like the place where the discarded people go. I don't get to live in the place where people that are thriving go, because I was emotionally taken advantage of. Let's just be real here about what this actually is. It's not a pathology on my part. I was emotionally taken advantage of several times. And I didn't have a good framework for avoiding it. I didn't have a good framework for knowing what to do to not experience that. And our entire society supports it and aggrandizes it and defends it as if it's a normal behavior, as if it's an acceptable, totally okay, you should feel sorry for them because it's so hard for them behavior. And like being taken advantage of is a problem on my part. It's a pathology, it's a disease. What an awful, weak person I am for being taken advantage of emotionally. It's a load of bullshit. And y'all motherfuckers need to stop it. We need to be real. You need to fucking own up, be accountable, and quit your bullshit. Quit your fucking bullshit. Because it's not cool. Like, you're hurting people. You are hurting people. You are damaging people. You're destroying people's lives. And then going on your merry way like it didn't matter. And we're not calling you sociopaths or narcissists for it. And that's messed up.